Moral authority. Moral authority. It's a pretty imposing term, isn't it? An individual can have it, institutions, countries can have it. Leadership by example. We can exert influence if we've got our act together. I think one of the greatest moments of moral authority shown by a country, shown by a leader, was this one.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Mr. Gorbachev, the leader of the evil empire, you got all that bad stuff happening in your country. We are not like you, and do the right thing. Tear down this wall. Moral authority. I love it. We in America have lost it. We've lost it. And it really has happened fairly recently. Did you know that the Horns guy from January 6th is still in jail? He's still in federal custody. Now, I've watched all the tapes, all the publicly available tapes. You can't find this guy breaking anything, hurting anybody. All he's doing is basically being courteous and, yes, goofy. He's trespassing. He shouldn't be there. But I don't see the problem, actually. Yes, arrest him. Yes, charge him with trespassing. Here, take a look. He didn't want to hurt anybody.
This has to be peaceful. We have the right to peacefully assemble.
He's emphasizing it. Peaceful, peaceful, peaceful. The fact that we're treating this guy the way we are has reduced, if not canceled, our moral authority. What about Ashley Babbitt, the unarmed Trump supporter who was shot and killed on Capitol Hill on January 6th? Unarmed. No one's asking questions about this. We're going to keep asking questions and keep highlighting her story because it's un-American. What's happening here is awful, and we're starting to pay the price. We're paying the price on the international stage because of what happened on January 6th. Not so much what happened, but what happened in the aftermath. Yeah, it was a riot, it got out of hand, and glass was broken and people were trespassing. But we've thrown people in jail for months and months and months. That is not American. That does happen in places like Russia. That did happen in places like the Soviet Union. Now, they were all Trump supporters, as you know, all right? They were all pretty much on the right politically. If you're on the left politically, you can break, loot, and do whatever you want. And here in New York, at least, we'll say, no problem. Now, you remember the looting here. You saw it. It was awful. It was a joke, actually. It was a joke. Well, some people were arrested, charged, but guess what? Now we have heard from the authorities that all is forgiven, all is forgotten, all will be expunged from the records. Yes, charges dropped for hundreds of alleged looters in New York City. You know who's watching? You know who's noticing all this stuff? Our adversaries. China, you may remember a couple of months ago, they called us out. Who are you to talk about our human rights when you've got your situation in your country? Vladimir Putin, just the other day in Geneva.
One of the participants, a woman, was shot dead on the spot. She was not threatening with, with arms or anything.
Vladimir Putin is 100% right. Now we don't have moral authority. We have these huge problems and we are not acknowledging them, and he can needle us. He can use it as leverage. So can the Chinese. This is bad stuff. We're supposed to have our own house in order, and we don't. And by the way, they used to say, oh, Donald Trump, he canceled our moral authority. Donald Trump ruined our... No, he didn't. They just had to come up with a new way to describe how they didn't like him. They had to intellectualize their grievances with Donald Trump. He did not squander our moral authority. If anything, he enhanced it. He enhanced it. Folks, somebody who did lose their moral authority, remember Sheldon Whitehouse? He's a Democrat from Rhode Island. I'll never forget the nasty approach he had with then Judge Kavanaugh.
And did the word, Ralph, you used in your yearbook
I already
to
answered the
alcohol?
question. If you're,
Did it relate to alcohol?
I like
You
beer.
haven't answered that.
I like beer. I don't know if you do.
Okay.
Do you like beer, Senator, or not? What do you like to drink?
Next one is,
Senator, what do you like to
Judge,
drink?
have you, I don't know if it's boofed or boofed. How do you pronounce that?
That refers to flatulence. We were 16.
All right. He was really terrible, Sheldon Whitehouse, that day. And now we found out something about Sheldon Whitehouse. He's a member of a beach club that apparently isn't very friendly to people of color.
Back in 2017, you had expressed concerns about the membership of the all-white Bailey's Beach Club, said that you hoped it would become more diverse. Now, your family's been members, your wife is one of the largest shareholders. Has there been any traction in that? Are there any minority members of the club now?
I think the people who are running the place are still working on that, and I'm sorry it hasn't happened yet.
Do you have concerns in 2021? I mean, obviously, it's been 4 years. You had remarks on the floor following the deaths of Breonna Taylor and George Floyd saying, hoping to root out systemic racism in the country. Your thoughts on an elite, all-white, wealthy club, again, in this day and age? Should these clubs continue to exist?
It's a long tradition in Rhode Island, and there are many of them. And I think we just need to work our way through the issues. Thank you.
Oh, he just got nailed. He just got nailed as a total phony, huh? Talking about systemic racism, and he's in an all-white club and shaming Judge Kavanaugh like that. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. You know what I like? Authenticity and candor. Quite frankly, I miss it. We got a lot of it from Donald Trump. And we got a little bit more this weekend. He wished everybody a happy Father's Day, but he did it in his own way. Happy Father's Day to all, including the radical left, rhinos, and other losers of the world. Hopefully, eventually, everyone will come together. Oh my goodness, how could he call somebody a loser when he's, There was a time where I was like kind of, but I am okay with it now. In fact, I like it because so many of these politicians are phonies. You just saw one. The classic politician says one thing to one person and another to somebody else. You ever see The Godfather, Part 2? Senator Geary from Nevada. Yeah, all smiles, just like a politician. But later, same day, that's the boys' first Holy Communion. Behind closed doors, when the men talk business, what's the senator's attitude then?
I don't like your kind of people. The dishonest way you pose yourself and your whole family.
Ooh, should not have brought the family into that. Senator Gary should not be talking like that to Michael. He'll come to regret it later in the movie.
You just watched Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news channel, now in more than 70 million homes. You can get Newsmax TV on your cable system or check your cable guide. And if your system doesn't carry Newsmax, call them, tell them you want Newsmax TV, because we're real news for real people.